Pistons fans, where you at with Keegan Murray? He's been the guy for a long time, and I think Pistons fans are starting to get Keegan Murray fatigue, but he's the guy that right off the bat when we got the 5th pick, everybody said the Pistons will draft Keegan Murray. I even said it while we were doing the lottery first. Chris looked at me and he said, "What are your thoughts? What are your reactions?" And I said, "Keegan Murray, welcome to Detroit." But has that worn off in the months since then? And I'm here to tell you why the Pistons, I still think, very likely can and will draft Keegan Murray, unless the Kings take him at 4. But I think that he's the guy that sets up. So let's remind ourselves, let's re-familiarize ourselves, because I think a lot of what we've done is gone to anybody and everybody that's not Keegan Murray, because we heard so much Keegan Murray in the first week or so after the lottery. So let's kind of remind ourselves of who Keegan Murray is. He's 21 years old. He'll be 22 by the time the NBA season starts. He's older. He's not old. Like let's get over this for just a second. He's about a year older than most of the guys we're looking at. Some guys too. He's not ridiculously old. He's 6'8", 225. He's got a good body, got a good frame that he's adding to. And when you look at the guy, again, like the strengths to weaknesses statistically, really, really good. Free throw attempt rate, draft age are his 2 biggest stat weaknesses. Like, are you kidding me with this right now? So the free throw attempt rate, I get it. You want people that get to the line. That's a big deal. But the draft age, like, it's not as big of a thing. I think other people wonder, can he be a good floor spacer? He shot almost 40% from 3. And by the way, he wasn't shooting well in the first 10 games of the season. So he got up there. I mean, this guy can be a straight knockdown 3-point shooter. Here's the other thing he doesn't get enough. Like, I'm starting to get excited now that I'm talking about him again. He has a great block rate, 2.2 blocks. He got a block in almost every single game. He scores at will. We've done videos on this, but I wanted to put another quick one out there just to remind everybody, like, Keegan Murray is the truth. He's the real deal. He is a good player. People worry. Here's the concerns. Here's the concerns. Can he create for himself? And what you saw on tape, what I saw on tape, is a guy that, while not being extremely talented off the dribble, wasn't bad. And I talked about this in a Benedict Mathurin video too. In that video, I was talking about how, like, yeah, like, I would rather take a guy who can shoot now, but you have to teach him better the dribble, than a guy that you have to teach how to shoot, but he's got the dribble. Like, Mathurin was a little different because he's a phenomenal athlete. Keegan Murray's a good athlete, not supreme. But didn't we say that about Cade coming out? I understand I'm not comparing Keegan and Cade, but the thought process with Cade is he going to be able to take guys off the dribble? Is he going to be able to find his own shot? The answer to that was a resounding yes. Yes, he was. And I think that is what Dwayne Casey and this coaching staff has shown that they can develop. The talent that they can develop is helping players get their own shot. The talent that they have shown repeatedly over and over again that they're not developing is helping players become just better shooters. Like, I think of players like they're not having their best season averages when it comes to 3-point shooting when they come to the Pistons, whether it's Diallo, whether it's Kelly Olynyk, whether Frank Jackson had one good year but then fell back to earth again this year. Like, that's the skill they're not developing in a better way. They're shooting at par for what you'd expect, or a little bit worse. So when you have a guy like Keegan Murray that comes in, phenomenal shooter, and by the way, just doing it on a ridiculous amount of attempts. He's shooting the ball almost 16 times a game, and he's shooting it at over 55%. Like, come on, people. Like, let's just have a conversation. At some point, what we have seen, Troy Weaver, when we first got him, we always thought, like, Troy Weaver is going to be this guy. He's just going to be this guy that's going to get ridiculous athletes. That's what he's going to draft. Just athlete. That's not what it's been so much. He's taking guys, a lot of them that are just productive. You think about a guy like Sadiq Bey, productive, solid player. Cade Cunningham, #1 pick, filled the stat sheet. And there's a level of importance for Troy Weaver that is off of just their athletic ability. He's an intangible guy. He wants people who will put up good numbers in college because a lot of times that does translate into the NBA. Not always. I know that. But those are usually more obvious that they're not going to translate. So you have a guy like Isaiah Stewart, big bruiser inside. You know he's going to work hard. That's a translatable skill. I think the understanding of the game that Keegan Murray has, his shooting, his defense, his length with his wingspan, those are translatable skills. So when we worry about the first step, not everybody on the team is going to have a phenomenal first step. That's just not the way it goes. Like, I would make the argument that you have the Boston Celtics. They made it to the NBA Finals without a guy with a phenomenal first step. Like, it's not the only thing. And so when we look at Keegan Murray and we see like he doesn't have a phenomenal first step, no. But what if he has a phenomenal jump shot? Because that is the ultimate equalizer, because people are running to close out, backdoor cuts, pump fakes. Like, there are so many ways to score. And when you can flat shoot, that's what helps you. That's why I like the Mathurin pickup idea for picking up Mathurin in the draft. And that's why I like Keegan Murray too. And now we're going to get into this high floor, low ceiling thing. People like, this is one of those things where I start to get almost a little not frustrated, but like you just don't know what a guy's ceiling is going to be. Like, you can't possibly know. You know people are going to be good. All right. 1, 2, first pick, second pick. Zion Williamson, hands down number 1 when he went out. Ja Morant, hands down number 2, but Ja will never be what Zion is. How did that go? Like, Ja Morant ended up just being a straight stud. And we all knew he was going to be fantastic. I get that. But there are many players. Jason Tatum. Let's go back to the Boston Celtics. They're on my mind, so let's talk about them a lot. I think Jason Tatum was picked 3. Everybody talked about the low ceiling on Jason Tatum. How did Jason respond to that? He got mad. How's his ceiling now? Do we feel like he's a superstar in this league? Like, this is a guy that came out low ceiling. So now we have Pistons fans that are saying like, nah, Mathurin was the guy in the or not Mathurin, Murray was the guy in the beginning, but he's got that low ceiling. And I just don't know what kind of player he's going to be. Like, yeah, he'll be a good starter, like day 1 starter, no problem. It's like, why are we worried about anything else if we know that the floor is a good starter? Like, he still has the opportunity to break through that ceiling. It's not a concrete ceiling. It's a glass ceiling. Bust right through that thing. And we see players do it all the time. Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, like, a guy can't shoot, cap ceiling, can't shoot. Turns out he can. Like, I mean, there are so many guys who do it in so many ways that break through this. So if you think he's the best player available, draft him and see what he becomes. I get the need for Pistons fan to be like, no, we need a number 2 superstar next to Cade. How much more likely is Shaedon Sharpe to be a superstar than Keegan Murray? How much more likely is Benedict Mathurin to be a superstar than Keegan Murray? Like, these are the guys that are going to be drafted in that same spot. How much more likely are they? Are they worth the lower floor compared to Keegan Murray's? That's why I like Mathurin and Murray Sharp. So this is why I think the Pistons are going to take one of those guys. We also had a video and did a video on why the Pistons will draft Mathurin. I really do think it's going to be one of these guys, unless Jaden Ivey's available. Then I think it's Ivey, because there's a definite ceiling that is really high. But when we talk about high ceiling guys, really what we're talking about is a combination of, can they shoot, can they play defense, and what does their athletic profile look like? So that's what it looks like. So I think Keegan Murray could be a great pick, and I think he could be an all-star in this league. I absolutely do. And a guy that could complement Cade well. So let's just see what Troy thinks. And that was the early reports, and they haven't necessarily gone away. I think we're just getting some fatigue on him. Let me know what you think about Keegan Murray. Are you getting fatigued on this guy? Is that why you don't maybe like him as much as you did after the first week after we learned we got the 5th pick? Let's see what we're thinking here. I would love to know what this community thinks about Keegan Murray. Leave your comment below. Hit that subscribe button. See you on the next one.